Hi, I'm Rosie.
Yay, I'm back on YouTube.
Welcome to my channel, where I look into what's going on intuitively in the world, from the political to the personal.
You can book personal readings on my website, rosieinsights.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosie and Corina, psych investigators. Okay, so hello,
Hello.
everybody. For those of you who are in the US, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And we're back with news coverage. What's going on in the world? What's going on? Okay, so it's funny because I was texting Corina yesterday, all this stuff happening all over the world. So let's get to it, right, Corina?
Yes, lots to talk about today.
Okay, so I am going to share it here. Okay, so Friday, November 29th. All right, so okay, now we have the questions in a little different format. You know what? Let me close here because actually I may have to. Okay, so a lot among the interesting things that came out over the not over the weekend, because not a weekend, but yesterday. This is the head of German intelligence. He said NATO may invoke Article 5 to counter Russian sabotage. German intelligence chief says. Okay, so this reminds me. Let me do the protection before I ask the question. So I'd like to ask for protection. A beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that it create the good and only the good for myself, Corina, and everyone involved. Okay.
And so it is.
Okay, so. Okay. So, all right. So let's, so we believe that is significant, right? Because Germany obviously is a very powerful country in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that they're making this statement publicly is relevant, right? So the question is this, right? Why, I know Queen and I have discussed this and believe that there has to be something cooking, right, Karina,
Mm-hmm.
in order for them to be saying this and that. So that's the question. So let's ask, how close is NATO to invoking art? Okay. Oh, let's start with the other question, Greta, because since we're talking about him, let's ask, why is the German intelligence person saying this publicly? So go ahead, Corina. I got something, but go ahead if you have something.
Kind of like what we got before. They're getting close,
Mm-hmm.
and it's preparing the citizens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got this image that he's been tasked like other heads of intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of alert their population and start kind of doing a sort of diplomatic work of public relations to
Mm-hmm.
say to get ready, to really get ready for it, that they're not playing. And it's saying people like that would not, when they make these statements, they mean it. And they
Yep.
had already agreed and decided to do this. Okay, then
Yeah.
the other question here on the left, how close is NATO to invoking Article 5? How close are they to invoking Article 5?
It's like I see a 2-week period.
Interesting. I got a week and a half.
Cool.
That would be,
Yep. Cool.
wow, interesting.
Which would pretty much line up with the dates.
With
This
it,
cosmic owl astrology would
that's
reference.
right.
Yes.
A little bit later, right? Because, but I guess, the deadline really is for us here, the 15th, because that's when
Right.
the 17th, right? That's when they have the election.
The 17th. Yes.
So, okay.
Which
So,
would tie into a lot of the other questions coming up. Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know what? Now I have a question. even though it may come up later because there are so many different events here. The question is, Corina, is there going to be, because I think we're going to go over all these other incidents that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me that already there's enough going on for them they don't have to wait for something else. But that was a question. Is there going to be another big event, big development, big sabotage thing that will trigger it? Or are they just dealing with the events that have happened thus far? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What I
Mm-hmm.
said? Okay, so in other words, is there going to be another big event of sabotage happening in the next few days, or is it because of the ship situation, the Denmark situation, all these things? Let's see what happens. No, I see that they're gathering. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, they're gathering already. I see there's a ball that's growing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess snowball. There's a lot of stuff that they already have enough information on. I see, but then there's something else that comes and sticks as they already are prepared for it. They're not gonna not waiting for something else. They are in the process of getting the public ready and then taking action. But there may be something else I see, but I don't get a feeling that is much bigger than because what has already happened is big enough. That's what I get.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what I got too. They have enough, but there still might be one more event that happens that just it's go time.
Yes, but I don't see that as like
No.
Okay. Now so then to the next part here is this is something that was yesterday, the 20 here could see the chaos in Denmark, no mobile phone service, trains at a standstill. According to media reports, there has been a widespread failure of the mobile phone network in Denmark. The emergency call system is also said to have failed. The Danish railway is also out of service, blah, blah, blah. So what I thought was interesting here that we should look at, right, Corina? I think we should look at that article, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ship. So one of the reasons why, this is my question also, is Denmark being targeted because they were the Danish Navy was the one who stopped the ship, remember?
Yes.
So like you guys who talked about it. So maybe we should ask before I even read the article, are they being targeted, or because they've been attacking Denmark before too, but is this a payback for stopping the ship or not, or unrelated? Let me ask. I get a yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Say they had the list of targets, but because they stopped the ship. And so and they quote unquote, I'm again here, they daring point finger at me. Okay, whatever. Yes, it comes from me, but they cannot point finger. I can press button, they cannot point finger. That is key here in this situation. Do not point finger at me. No. So okay,
exactly.
So that's it. That's right. So that's they're the bullies, right? So they get upset. How dare you? Okay, so all right. So okay, so yes. Now let's go to the article. Now I have to stop share and then reshare again, because I think this is maybe one of the biggest incidents, right? So it's also interesting that it's in the Wall Street Journal, which is a paper. So anyway, so Chinese ships crew suspect of deliberately dragging anchor for 100 miles to cut Baltic cable. So I'm going to link this, by the way, at the bottom of the timestamps. But I just here okay. Oh, here it is. So the probe, I think we can ask this. Oh, here, that'll be interesting to ask while we read it. We've read it before, but their probe now centers on whether the captain of the Chinese-owned ship, which departed the Russian Baltic port of Ust-Luga on November 15th, was induced by Russian intelligence to carry out the sabotage. It will be the latest in a series of attacks on Europe's critical infrastructure that law enforcement intelligence officials say have been orchestrated by Russia. So let's ask this question. Was the captain of the ship induced by Russian intelligence to carry out the sabotage? And I get big thumbs.
Yes.
I said yes, and it tells me 100%. It says
yes.
Okay.
And they're gonna talk.
Okay. Okay. So now, so Okay, so there's just some details here that are interesting just for you guys' information. Okay, investigators have established that the ship dropped anchor, but remained underway in Swedish waters on November 17th at around 9 p.m. local time. The dragging anchor cut the first cable between Sweden and Lithuania shortly afterwards, according to two people familiar with the investigation. During that time, the ship's transponder, which charts its movements on the so-called automatic identification system, shut down what is known as a dark incident in marine traffic jargon. The ship then continued even as the dragging anchor greatly reduced its speed, according to satellite and other data reviewed by investigators. Oh, what a coincidence, no? Investigators,
Imagine that.
right, say that at around 3 a.m. the following day, having traveled about 111 miles, the Pang 3 cut the second cable. Interesting. No, it was a coincidence.
Yeah. And it's amazing
How
that the
dare you
second cable
accuse
related to two
me?
different countries.
How dare you accuse me?
Yeah.
I cut one, I cut two. No, but the coincidence. Only coincidence with us. It's because country come to us close and I cut. I have the right to cut it. I have the right to do it. You do not. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. So, okay. So, all right. So here, right. So it's kind of like, okay, shortly, this is how shady is the situation. Cut the second cable between Germany and Finland. Shortly afterward, the ship started zigzagging, raised anchor. Oh, yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
continued. Then that's when the Danish Navy ships then set out to pursue. They're like,
Yes.
hold on, excuse me. By paying 3, ultimately forcing to anchor on the Kattegat Strait, which connects the Baltic and the North Seas. A review of the vessel's anchor and hull showed damage consistent with having dragged its anchor and severed cables. No, nothing
Imagine.
here. No, no, nothing to see here. No, no.
Pure accident. Pure accident.
Wow. Okay. Oh,
Not,
look at this.
not accidental at all.
Oh, interesting. Okay, here it is. The crew of Peng 3, which is captained by a Chinese national and includes a Russian sailor. Interesting, no? Interesting. Ah. That's right. That's right. So absurd here. That's it.
Yeah.
These are absurd, unsubstantiated accusations.
Really,
Yeah,
really,
you're right.
really.
So that's right. And I see, okay, so interesting. I'll stop share the article here because everybody can read it later. But these are relevant pieces because don't you think when I'm just reading the article, it's pretty clear what happened, right? It's not like
Yeah, it's factual information. It's
Mhm.
not absurd. It's
Mhm.
factual information that actually happened. You can see, yeah.
And as we know, anybody or any country, if they have been innocent, they'd be like, sure, here's all the information. Of course, you're welcome to come, right? Instead
Yeah.
of the accused, it makes it even more shady. Now, the question I have, because as I was doing the voice or whatever, like all these things, I immediately picked up on how nervous they are because they are about to be, right? Don't you, did you, so,
Mhm.
so let me ask this, how are the Russian officials feeling about this? What do they think is going to happen? Like, what are they feeling? It's dead. Yes. No. They're very upset. They're like, stupid. I didn't go talk to him. No, you can't do it. You can't. It's not your business to go here. No, no. So right, like I just really
Yes.
like I feel like they're freaking out and
Yes.
they're acting out even more, being more bullies than usual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that's right, it's them and everybody knows, and it's saying that they're like about to be exposed on the various
Yes.
things part, and it's saying so for the first time, and it's like this is also like a mistake that should go to history books. Don't help the bully. Don't let them get
Exactly.
away. Like, oh no, but they don't mean it. We don't want to fight. No, you cut it at the beginning so that it
Right.
doesn't expand, right? So,
Yeah.
so
And it's them or us. It's the bullies on the playground or
okay.
national security for everybody else.
So, okay, and question, how close is NATO to invoking Article 5 regarding Denmark sabotage? Now, I have to say, before we ask the question, something else came up here, saying that in fact, that the NATO Article 5, when I see them invoking it and making public statement, they talk about the ship also. So it's going to play into this. I see
Mm-hmm.
that it's one of the biggest because it was a very serious thing. So Do you pick up, Corina?
Yeah, it is. It is a very serious thing, and it does all tie together. And he's going to reveal all of this
Mm-hmm.
when he comes out.
Mm-hmm, that's right. So that's right. On the day that and I see this, the first they of course they probably will attack. Then I'll be like, hey, by the way, they just do it. And then as it's the press is reporting on what's being done, then they expose the whole thing. Okay.
Right.
So all right. So now, of course, the reason why we're so interested in this is because from the beginning, we've been seeing that um that NATO will play a big role here in helping us with the election. So of course, and we know that the president and the vice president get intelligence briefings daily.
hmm hmm
And of course, since we have the information, I'm sure they have a lot more than we do, obviously.
hmm
So how do they, so the question is, how do Biden and Kamala see what is happening in the world when it comes to NATO and Russia? And are they in touch with NATO about Article 5?
hmm
So,
hmm
okay. So I see immediately they have an open channel, like a open communication, open lines,
hmm
constantly talking. And they have, it's as soon as the thing with the election, they were working together on this from the beginning in the election situation. And that Biden is like, okay, sure, they're being supportive. They're not intervening actually or they're not being very active with what Europe wants to do in their own territory about Russia. They're like, okay, sure. Sure. They're like, okay, we get it. No, of course. So are they in touch with NATO about Article 5? Yes. And I see them
hmm
now. I see Lloyd Austin and them talking more because there's some things I'd say related to defense that have to be in place in order for NATO to attack so that the US expects that Russia will attack us. Of course, there's a lot of
Right.
people here in country, who like Putin. And
Right.
so I think they have to have these things in place and in different, I think even ships in different locations, they're moving
hmm
around. I see
hmm
airplanes and all that.
Yeah.
So yes. So
That goes into
uh-huh.
what I had seen where it was everybody has to be in place
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
in
mm-hmm,
their, the succession of the presidency on down.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Every person that is in their positions has to be ready.
mm-hmm,
So it is known
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and they are preparing.
mm-hmm. And I see it also that when it comes the date, because we're asking when or and so forth, they all have to align. Nobody's going to be surprised. None of the
Mm,
players, right, that are with NATO are surprised. So,
no,
and
no,
including, of course, the US. So it's so that it's all very connected when it happens. And I see that Biden's like, not, it's like it's not, he's just like, oh, okay, great. Like he sees it on the news, quote unquote. Of course, he knew it was going to happen, but it's good. He feels relief that it's not him who has to do it. So that,
exactly.
right. So that
Yeah,
the weight is not so heavy on his shoulders. Okay. So,
no, that's the thing. And it's like he's in his situation room here in America dealing with our stuff,
mhm,
knowing that
mhm,
NATO's in the situation room dealing with
mhm,
that. And I think we're getting into more of those questions as we go. So
okay. Yeah. So
I have
that's,
a
I
vision.
see him and Kamala high-fiving each other. So that's nice.
hmm
Okay.
hmm
All right. So now here we have now on to the other, there's a lot going on. We'll continue. So, but we wanted to address the Article 5 issues earlier, right? It's because it's
Right.
how this is how it related to everything that's going on in the world, right? That's how it
Right.
affects.
And how our own country and president felt about it. Yes.
Right. Sorry. Okay. So now in Romania, so this tells you how below we are in
Yeah.
comparison, right? So here is the breaking Romania. Remember, if you haven't watched it, guys, I had on the one of the election, I did see that they would delay the election on December
Yeah.
8th. And looks
hmm
like, I don't know if how the Constitution is, but it's saying that now since the Supreme Court is okay, asked for a recount of the votes for the first round of presidential elections. So it's a very good development, right?
hmm
And
hmm
and so let's see what is next for Romania. Will they be able to stop the Russian puppet soon? So what's going on with Romania? Wow, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I see that there's these thugs connected to them trying to stop the recounts, trying to create chaos, but it's saying the whole country is really behind it.
Yep.
Even some of the people who it's saying not many people voted for that guy. That's the thing. What's the deal? And I see the machines. That's right. The machines, they know that it's the machines. I see there's like electronic counting machines or something like that. That's
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
know. They're not,
They know.
they're
They
not.
know. No, and NATO knows. NATO knows also. Yes,
And
and I feel that they're going to be able to divert all of that because of what comes out in this whole situation with NATO.
that's right. And I do see that the guy eventually, I don't know, it just shows me an image of him packing his bag like a suitcase because he's gonna have to leave the country. And maybe he has asylum in the Raf. Huh? Good country, no? Good life with the Raf. So
Yeah.
so that's right. So I see that that's right. And he's like gets there in the with a hat on and everything to try to hide his identity. That's right. So he will be so and by the way, guys, if may not know, may or may not know, oh no, this is gonna go to Georgia, but
Yeah.
it says
Yeah.
it's a pattern how Russia has been working in the countries near them, how
Hmm.
they work to
And
overtake.
here we go.
Okay, so now there's another Georgia, so Tbilisi, Georgia, massive protest against. So the whole country is standing up against the Russian puppet government. So it's another one, okay, another group. It's so crazy that also there was the case of Starlink. We don't know exactly the details, but it looks like very close to what we have been seeing by
Hmm.
the other
Hmm.
countries. So now they did something. This election happened in October, also, I believe, in
Hmm.
Georgia, and now they want to. That's the whole. Oh, this is what I was going to say. That happened in Ukraine. That first triggered the massive protests that eventually led to the war. Long story, but it's that the population. They were prepared to. This is what's happening in Georgia. Also. They were prepared to join the EU. They were happy and all that. And then
Hmm.
suddenly they have a new government, and the government said, "Oh yeah, sure, we're going to join." And then as soon as they get into power, they said, "No, we're halting, we're stopping
Yep.
it." And so everybody knows at this point that a region knows that playbook so well. And because let's say for example, there were the option if the option is Russia versus join the EU, if Russia offered good economic opportunities, well, of course, people would probably not be so upset about it. But who wants to choose if you have to choose between the EU and Russia economically, it makes no sense. Why would you do that? It's
Yeah.
no brainer, right? People want better lives. So anyway, there's like if you look it up online, there's so many protests. So the question is that because they're so close, and by the way, in 2014 there was a 5-day war that they won because it's a long story with Georgia. There's two separatist little areas that are
Hmm.
very Russian controlled and so forth. And then Russia sent they stopped it in 5 days. But so the question is, are they going to will they be able to stop the Russian puppet because they're in such danger because they're so close, right? So that's a question. What's next for Georgia? Will they be able to stop the Russian puppet soon?
Hmm.
Yeah, I see the same image of the guy in a helicopter having to leave the country.
Hmm. Hmm.
So wow,
Yeah.
yeah, interesting. I see that it could even extend into maybe January, early January at the latest, but I think they will. The protest because people are not gonna take it. They're not gonna take it. And again, it's this understanding that first with the threat of Trump in power that could help Russia, right? And also that they're done. And you see, as soon as things start picking up from NATO, like NATO starts doing something, then they feel more emboldened, and then the other people kind of crumble, the ones that the traitor people, right?
Yeah.
And I
Exactly.
and I see that Putin in the end, he does not have as many resources because he's so focused on Ukraine, right? So
Right. So
so
he
yeah,
can't do anything in the end to really
so
fight too much
yeah.
because he's already exhausted all his
Mhm.
resources.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I do see again the same thing that happened in Georgia. They put on Starlinks and all that. So
Yeah.
I think they may even they may do another election
Yeah.
eventually soon or something because it's saying the corruption is so obvious and nobody is saying, and unlike us, right? Corina was saying, oh, well, it's sad that in America we don't seem to understand the gravity of it. They know it because they have lived it. They don't want to go back, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? I feel like when I was looking at that with NATO in Georgia and like, do they know? And I again saw a situation room with NATO,
Hmm.
and it was like the monitors in there were unlike our Situation Room, the monitors represented countries.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
so they were watching, and it was almost like the Starlink system was lit up,
mhm, mhm,
hitting this country, that country, this country. That was their little ping ping. And,
mhm, mhm,
evidence, like I always said, worldly, it's like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
mhm,
Georgia was one of them.
mhm,
And that's, I think, put them on the alert to watch Romania and what's happening in America. And
mhm,
so it does all tie together.
mhm,
And then at the end of the vision, it was interesting because the monitors started to fall off the wall, but they turned into dominoes.
mhm, mhm. Wow, so great. That's
Yeah.
great. So,
So what does that tell you?
well, it's great.
Dominoes are starting to fall.
Yes, no, great. That's great. So now another thing that is also very interesting, and obviously it's a different region, but so just a little reminder here of the Syria civil war that started, I think it's 2014 and lasted for about 10 years. It's sort of, I don't know, it's on and off, I guess. But the point, I want to show you the map here because you know that Israel had been attacking Hezbollah in Lebanon. Um, right. This is, regardless of whether it's wrong or right, whatever, it is what it is, right? They're attacking and they
Mhm.
greatly weakened Hezbollah. Now, Hezbollah is a proxy of Iran. And it's a long story to explain. You probably know this, that because they belong to the same sect, religious, like not
Mhm.
sect, it's the Shiite.
Right.
So anyway, so they are very connected to Hezbollah, Iran is. And we know that Iran helped Syria, Assad a lot during the Syrian civil war, and Russia, of course, provided a lot of military help
Mhm.
to Iran and Syria during the Syria civil war. So what has changed now? So but the issue, the thing with Syria that is so complicated, I don't understand all of it, because it's
Mhm.
a lot of these groups, a lot of groups. So we know. I guess you should know this, that Assad. The thing that why is Iran helping Assad? Because he belongs to, I forgot, it's the name of there's a specific sect. It is considered a part of Shiite Islam in a way. So they
Mhm.
help them because they have a strong connection, religious, cultural connection. But
Right.
in Syria, with the Syrian civil war, let me show you the map here. So it's important that you know here we have Turkey right there,
Mhm.
Iraq, and Lebanon here, Jordan, Israel right here. Okay, so
Wow.
so so I think Turkey is playing a big role in this because they're financing a lot of groups that want to take some of the territory. I don't quite understand it. There's also the fact that a lot of the Sunni Muslim countries have a stake. They want to play a role in this because they also want to stop Iran.
Mhm.
And Syria is a gateway to Iran, I think,
Right.
right? So it's for Iran to reach also Israel here, and so Saudi Arabia is a big enemy of Iran. We know that. And
Mhm.
so I'm sure there's a lot of money. A lot of rebels are financed by probably Saudi Arabia and Turkey in different ways. Now, the other thing about Turkey that is a little different, even though I believe they're all Sunni, is that the president of Turkey is supposedly connected to the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a
Mm.
group that was strong in Egypt, but then they were overthrown. It's a very long story, but there's all these different forces in play here. And
Right.
so I think what happened is they took advantage of the weakening of Russia because because of so apparently Bashar Assad was sort of losing, was in a weak position when Russia and Iran joined him, and that really gave him a lot. Once
Right.
he joined the war, then he got a lot out of it. It really did help him. So now that the groups see that the Russia is weakened because of Ukraine, they see
Mhm.
that the timeline of Trump maybe coming into the White House, they have to act fast.
Mhm.
I think that's what they're doing. Now, the thing with Syria is that again, it's this, I would say, like war melting pot of all these different conflicts in the Middle East kind of
Yeah.
in this place. So the question, sorry, it's like it's such a long story, but just to explain what's going on.
Yeah, no, it's a great history lesson.
So then also, Russia has a lot of bases in Syria. It's still ongoing military bases in Syria because, of course,
Right.
they helped Assad. So there's news saying that a lot of the bases there, the rebels are reaching these bases. They're having to escape. The Russian soldiers there, whatever, having to escape because the rebels are overtaking.
Mm-hmm.
Question, all of this just to ask, and also just say that this alliance of Iran, Hezbollah, Russia is weakened over there in that region,
Right.
and they're taking advantage of it. So all of this ask, what is going to happen in Syria? Is this going to be another loss for because Russia, they have these imperial ambitions, right? So
Right.
what is going to happen to Assad? First question. Oh, by the
Mm-hmm.
way, and yesterday there was in the news that he flew to Russia begging. Russia's already in a bad situation. Yesterday, apparently, or the day before, he flew to Russia to beg for money, for help, some sort of like look at. He must be in a very dire situation. He has to go over there, given everything that's going on in the world. Why would Russia care? We don't know. But what's going to happen to him? Is he going to survive this? What's going to happen? Right. So let's ask
Right.
what's going to happen to Assad? What's happening now in Syria, and what's going to happen to Assad?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So I saw that Turkey is going to get further into Syria. They're going to claim some of the Syrian territory, and I see that Assad is grabbing Russia, like,
Mm-hmm.
but there's oil on his hands. It's not oil related to like uh petroleum, but oil like his hands are slipping, and he falls into a cauldron and he was boiled alive. So he's about to go. I feel like Russia,
Mm-hmm.
he was trying to, and I see that he goes and burns in hell, basically. So
Mm-hmm.
I think his days are numbered, but they may have a kind of a split. That's I think the goal here is to split Syria into
Mm-hmm.
different sections. But it's saying that it's a complicated thing, but that's what I feel. So for Russia, then is the question, what does it mean for Russia? Does it mean yes, they don't
We
have
can.
they can help? No, I don't think they can help Syria, and they're gonna have to give that up. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No. Mm-hmm. You were right when you talked about all the groups, and they're taking advantage of the weakness right now. They can see it too.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going after this as well. Yeah. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so interesting. That's right. And I see that that's right. Suddenly, because it's a lot of the power of Russia, especially in the area, had to do with that. But they're like, oh, they helped the Syria civil war. But now if they lose it, it's saying that it's a big blow to them, even though it's technically just all about Syria, but it's not. It's that this is like how it shows me that this was like the calling card. Here's my business card. If you want a war, like if you want to protect yourself from a war, you can call us. But it's saying that they're going to lose it, and therefore their credibility as a military superpower is going to be weakened as well through this.
Right. Exactly. And that's exactly what's happening in that process.
Okay, all right. So wow, this is like just one day that we didn't write, Corina? Like this
So
is
much. So much.
so
Yeah.
wow. Okay, so wow, interesting. So actually, let me stop share. Okay, no, hold on a second.
Yeah,
Uh,
and Putin's not happy about that either because he's not winning in Ukraine, and now this is going to be shown as another loss for him,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and it doesn't look good. He's got egg on his face.
That's right. So okay, so then let's look at the video because the body language is always so interesting. And I know that you're like, oh, is it double? I don't, by the way, I don't buy into these things, but I don't think when you see the speech, I don't think it's okay. I think it is
Yeah.
what you're saying. Okay, so let's see. Let me stop share here, then go to the video and then see what we pick up from the video. Okay, so I don't know if it's
Поразило даже
okay.
не то, что в отношении Трампа применялись абсолютно Не цивилизованные средства борьбы.
Mhm.
Абсолютно цивилизованные.
Okay, I have no idea what he's saying, but I could tell. I heard the word Trump. He's like, yeah, well, be careful. The body language, right, Corina?
Yeah.
So,
And why would he even come out and say that at a podium? It looks very official. You
mhm,
know,
that's right.
it's not
Exactly.
like he's
So
casual in his office or on his horse talking about it.
that's
It's very
right.
official.
Mhm. So let's ask, right? Let's ask here, why did he go? Why is he doing that? Why did he do that? Why did Putin go to television to say? And I see, okay, so I see that it shows me that Putin is riding Trump like a horse, like he put the thing. Okay, go fast, time to go fast because we
Yes,
have a lot
we
of
got to
time.
get this stuff done. We got to get this
Right,
stuff done. Hurry. Come on. We're losing time. We're losing ground.
right.
Yes. Yes.
And it's saying, it kind of saying, do what you got to do. We don't care the means, just get it done.
Right.
You have to get into power.
They
Okay.
are also aware of the deadlines, just like NATO is. And
Okay.
NATO is very aware of America's deadline.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so is Putin. And so everything's kind of tying in together like that. We are now on a deadline.
Okay.
And Putin knows it as well.
Okay. Okay.
So yes, it's do as much as you can, whatever you can.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So then let's see here. Now going back because that's right. So we are seeing here Elon Musk and Trump at Thanksgiving. There's links. You can look this video up online. Okay. So it's just showing Elon Musk and Trump on the same table. And it's very awkward because, as we know, Elon Musk, they're not friends. It's just an awkward situation where there he is sitting right next to Trump with Trump's family. It just sounds like very, very strange, the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, so, so Corina, so yeah, so what, I mean,
And I noticed in the video where Trump patted Elon on the back, and it's like he would.
it seems so
I don't know. I've never seen him do that with his own children, other than
right.
touching Ivanka. But I've
That's
never
right.
seen him even pat, any one of his kids on the back. That's odd to me. And why isn't Leon with his 11 children? Why is he there with
Right.
Trump?
That's right. Or he could have brought some of his kids or something, but nothing. It's just him there.
Yeah.
And I just got this feeling. So
And even if he did bring his family, why is he sitting at the table with Trump, not with his family?
that's
If
right.
he was a guest there, then be with
Right.
your family.
That's right. And it's and especially something so public, like a celebration. It's almost like he wants to be seen as so I guess let's ask these questions. What WTF is Elon doing? What is Elon's agenda here? Okay, so what is he doing? What is the agenda here?
Oh, Leon.
And what? Okay. Okay. So wow. Okay. So okay. Can I'll
You
just
go, because I
okay.
just
So,
giggle.
yeah, it's just weird. I almost feel bad for him, but I don't, obviously. So I see that he has a list, like a checkboard and a list of the things that he wants to happen in the government. The reason why he's there is because they're picking people, they are choosing the direction of the government, and he wants these agenda items to be done. So he has a list.
Yep.
And then I see that at the same time, and this is like his addiction, quote unquote, he could technically have he doesn't have to be public because
Exactly.
he's Trump. But he's like, well, you know what? His ego is so big and he can't handle it's saying he loves the attention and he
Yep.
wants it to be on himself. And he's saying, no, listen, and I swear, and maybe we need to ask this, like, I feel like if somebody, like, honestly, at some point, I think he's just gonna straight up say it. I changed the number.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it's like I got the guy in the election.
Yeah.
Of course I should take the job because I did it. And in a
Yeah.
way, I get what, like, he may have a little point, but he doesn't get that he can't say it, but he
No,
can't
he can't control it.
that's right, right, Corina.
He
So
can't control it. He's sitting there at that table just, I'm president. Don't you guys understand? I'm the one making all the decisions. I'm the one that did this.
mhm,
You guys just don't know it. Well,
Mhm.
we do know it, but you're right. I think he's going to get to the point where it's like, yes, I changed it. I'm the one. Because he can't handle it. You're
Yeah,
right.
and it's just like, why,
So,
right? Like,
yeah,
even for
so
example,
egoic.
people like Bannon and others, like they, whoever it was, they understand that the show is about Trump, and that it begins to bring up the question, who really is the president in the minds of even the MAGA people? Like, who is in charge here? Really, we didn't vote for this guy, right? So I see that's right. And I see the scene of Elon Musk kicking something. Oh, kicking a door, like he's so mad. Why? So why are you mad? Because he doesn't. Then there, because Trump is number one there. It's his house, first of all. Here I am,
Yeah,
but I'm like, am I defending Trump? But really, it's first of all, it's Trump's house and it's his show. It's like a TV show, and
yeah,
Musk is trying to take over. That's right. Like if we
yeah.
said
And
before, like he has taken over every company in every situation. It's the same moment where he's like, now it's my takeover moment. What the hell are you doing? Like he can't help himself because
yeah,
that's what he does. What the hell are you doing here? It's my. So wow.
time to
So
get this operation. I paid for this. I made it happen. This is what I do with every company I take over. It's
that's right.
time. I'm right here to get the operation,
Wow.
which is the government.
So is there a show, because I see that even if they have the same goal or whatever, right? Like, don't you think it's kind of a dangerous situation to like, so is there a showdown? How does if we progresses, how does it end, or does it end at all? Or is it just going to be with Trump the whole time until the end? Okay, let's see. Is there going to be a showdown moment, a situation, or what?
I think he's with Trump till the end.
But you know what I'm thinking? I did see him in their airplane. Does he ever go home? Or is he could also be with Trump to get some sort of protection. He thinks that nobody's going to do anything to him if he is with. So how does it happen? No, they're saying, don't worry. They're like, don't, Elon, we have
Yeah,
picked, we have picked the people. You could, go get some rest, go home or whatever. So, okay, but it's saying that's right. He's gonna be until because that they picking, it's saying he's very involved in picking the people that he
yeah.
wants.
Hmm.
Okay,
Well, it's
so
his government. It's his government. He bought
wow.
it. He paid for it. He made it happen. It's his government. So he gets to choose the people that are in there. And I'm telling you, I always see him with that nurse, that scary nurse, and coordinating. It's like his whole operation, no matter who's around. He's above it, and he's too brazen and arrogant to see that he's putting himself out there in an obvious way that he's acting as the president.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow. So, so I have a question actually, since we talk, for example, we saw today the video of Putin saying something about Trump. Is Why isn't Putin say something or something to Elon Musk also? Or is he not? Does it make sense, Corina?
yeah.
Since
I think he's
go
trying to
ahead.
distance himself from the Starlink word. You know what I mean?
Okay. Oh, I see
That
what you're
part
saying.
of it.
Right.
That part of it.
But
He's
that's right.
trying to distance himself.
That's right. That's right. He doesn't want to. Okay. Because technically he's not, the guy is there all the time, but that's right. He can't. That's right. And I see that Putin is actually worried about, we talked about it before, that he doesn't like Elon Musk, but he doesn't know how to deal with him.
Yeah, he's used to dealing with all this terrorism, and he's used to that. He's used to propaganda. He's used to that, all that stuff. Leon is a little bit out of control,
Mhm.
and he's not quite sure how to rein that in without it being an obvious situation. How
Okay.
he could control it. He can't control it like he would other people.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so he's a loose cannon. That's what I just heard. He's a loose cannon in Putin's mind.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, wow, Corina. Wow. So that's the last. Okay, let's see. That's the last thing that we for today, right? So let's see here. Okay, just like the next week. I almost want to know the next. Okay, today is the 29th. We know that. Okay, the Sunday is, let me look at the calendar here. So, okay.
No, I'm so lost on what day it is.
Sundays is December 1st. Friday, the dates, right? Thursday is the 5th. So Friday 6th, Saturday 7th. Okay. Okay. So then what is happening? Oh, you know what? I have a question. This is an interesting question I have. So where is Elon Musk? Where are Elon Musk and Trump going to be when NATO evokes Article 5? Because we believe that it's definitely going to happen, right, Corina? This thing.
Mhm,
So where and how are they going to react to it?
Mm.
I see that they're sitting kind of in the similar table, like they're dealing with this stuff. And then they're like looking at the television, and there's the guy, the NATO guy, giving his speech. And I see the Elon Musk like,
mhm,
uh, uh, like he
mhm.
starts to get a little dizzy. And I see that Trump is already kind of out of it anyway. So to him, it's less, he's used to this kind of, he's nervous, but not as nervous as Elon Musk. I see.
Right,
So,
right.
wow, how
Yeah,
interesting.
I saw the same vision I've had before, which I'll not share that quite yet, because it has some vital information in there, but it's the same. They're together, but
Mm,
honestly, Trump is relieved in a
mm,
way because he has to deal with our people and not Putin's people.
okay, okay. Wow, okay, okay. All right. Okay. Wow, interesting. So, but is that it for today, Karina? Anything else to add that we have, I haven't said or something?
No, I mean, I think that, I mean, I still feel things are kind of playing out
Mhm,
timeline wise and things that we have seen that might happen.
mhm,
I really still feel they're playing out accordingly.
mhm.
Don't you?
Yeah, no, true.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what comes out this week, but I still think we have another week to go for really bombastic stuff.
Yes. Okay, very interesting. All right. So we're gonna pause recording here.
Okay.